Hey Nick, how have you seen? I guess Jalen Milrows has seen a lot of more pressure. How have you, like over the past few weeks, he's going to see a stout defensive line in Tennessee this Saturday. What have you seen in his decision making when teams are pressuring him more? How has he kind of responded to, I guess, the weight of sack opportunities, tackles for loss, things like that?
Yeah, I think I think Jalen has responded great in those moments. I think there's always going to be plays where you wish you could do something different. I think that's the nature of playing the position, and so there were some learning opportunities that occurred in the game this past week, and that occur every game. Where choices you make, decisions you make that work out, in your favor, and maybe it wasn't the right decision, and so you still learn from there. And then obviously, when the result isn't what you want, relative to the end of the play, you learn, you grow, you improve. You have conversations and communication of why that happened, and there's always a story to every poor decision or every mistake that you make. And so we just talk through that, learn, grow, improve, and try to get better throughout the week of prep, and try to put them in, not just Jalen but all the other players, in positions where things that you didn't execute as well as you'd like, you put them in that position in practice so you can improve and get better.
Jump to the right side here, Nick.
Hey Nick, you have been on the other side of this rivalry going back to your GA days there. What stands out to you about the third Saturday in October?
I think just the passion, the intensity of the game, that's what stands out the most. The environments that you compete in are as good as it gets in college football, and so that's what stands out the most in this game.
Jump over to the left, Katie.
What have you seen or maybe liked about the depth at wide receiver when you've had some guys out with Kendrick and Kobe missing a little bit of time?
Yeah, I've appreciated the efforts of the guys, and playing multiple spots and having to learn different positions. I think Coach Shep has done a great job of that. I think you see Caleb Odom just continuing to grow and learn multiple spots, playing different, positions on the field. Cole obviously had some big plays in the game. And so, with just the rotation of players that are up each week, obviously Ryan and Germ have been steady and productive for us, but I think the depth of that room has certainly helped us. E-Man has had some good moments. And so, I know there's other guys too that I'm probably leaving out, but I think it's a deep room, and they're improving each and every week. And Coach Shep's doing a great job of mentoring, molding, coaching, all of the above. And I think, those guys have contributed and helped us for sure.
Go to the back of the room, Ryan.
Coach, how pleased are you with the run game so far? And obviously you want to see more no matter what, but what's the ceiling for this backfield?
I wouldn't ever probably use the word pleased. I don't think in any area really. We're always trying to improve. I thought, we took strides running the ball in the game this past week. We had some negative yardage plays that really kind of skewed the numbers that way, but I thought there was some really strong, tough physical runs by both Jam and Justice in the game. And so there was things to be encouraged by how we ran the ball at times. I think across the board, we're looking for consistency. That's in all areas. There were certainly things that we can do better, both in the run game and in the pass game from this past week. And every week presents new challenges, and so, you flip the page, you go to the next week, you start, breaking down the next opponent and the things that you're going to have to do to be successful, and that is in all areas offensively. But I thought there was some physicality up front. I thought there was some tough running that occurred. We have to eliminate the negative yardage plays that obviously hurt us in the game. And so I saw strides. I wouldn't use the word pleased, but I would say that there was improvement made.
Go to Ariel, all the way back in the middle.
Coach, sticking with the upfront unit, what is maybe the message to those guys concerning quarterback protection leading up into Tennessee?
I didn't, just being very blunt and honest, I thought that we did a nice job, big picture, blocking, this past week in pass pro. Some of the issues that we had protectionally were a little bit more schematic than they were individual. And so I was proud. I thought there was a tough task last week with the two edge rushers that we were going against, and I was really, by and large, pleased with the effort on the edges and inside. It wasn't perfect. There were certainly a few plays that I know those guys would like back. I thought there were some tough spots we put them in, particularly at the end of the half when you're, they know you're throwing the ball. And even some of those weren't, they were a little bit more schematic or quarterback location in the pocket. And so I thought by and large that the guys up front did a nice job in pass pro. Like I said, some of the issues that we had or the sacks that occurred were a little bit more schematic than they were, one-on-one breakdowns.
Emily Grace, right in the middle there.
Coach, what do you feel like the next progression point is for Jalen that you want to see him meet in these next few weeks?
I think each week is a new challenge. I think you're just continuing to grow, continue to learn. We talk to the players every week that every time you go out there on the field, you send a message or an invitation. And so, when you have things that you do well, you're sending a message to the other team that this is something that we're really good at. And when you struggle with something, any player, any scheme, any coach, then you're inviting them to try to see if you fixed it. And so I think that occurs each and every week for us. And so Jalen's no different, our whole offensive unit, things that we have done well, obviously the opponent is looking at that and trying to find ways to slow you down in those areas. And then things that you struggled with or have, not executed as cleanly, they're going to, try to show you, see if you've improved in those areas. So I think for all of us, it's identifying the things that we need to be better at and trying to fix those issues as you're moving forward to the next game.
Any other questions for Coach Sheridan? Starting with last one here, right?
Just when you watch film of Tennessee, what stands out about their defense, particularly their front seven?
I would just say the size and athleticism. I think there's depth up front. I think they're very well coached. I have familiarity with the coaches on that staff and have a tremendous amount of respect for them. But I think the depth, the size, the speed, the athleticism, they're excellent, and obviously have been very productive. I think they've been, outstanding in critical moments, short yardage situations, red zone situations, some of the plays that not just the front, but the entire unit, they've really risen up and made some really quality plays in some critical moments that have kept teams, out of the end zone. And it's impressive, both for their coaches to get their players to perform at a high level in those moments, and certainly for the players to execute at those times. It's been impressive to see, on film.
I think
Okay, roll Tide.